Where you going? What's
I'm talking about the highest in the room. Hey, I'm about to kill somebody's kid. Hey, because I'm the highest in the room. Let's talk about this Travis shit, bro.
I'm hiding behind my money, bro.
He hiding behind the money.
Behind my money.
Behind the money.
Fuck this money, bro. Fuck this shit.
Nigga,
fuck Travis Scott and fuck that money. I don't care. It's the root of all evil. This right here is what got them kids killed at that concert.
Bro, I'm gonna say this. Like, to say that he did not try to stop the concert is a lie.
He didn't tell the crowd to
He literally told the crowd to back away from him.
Not from the ambulance that was
Multiple
coming
times.
through. Bro, I
Multiple
seen
times.
the ambulance sitting with people on top of the ambulance.
Yeah, nah, but what I'm
People
saying
around
is,
the ambulance.
no, what I'm saying is he told them to do it. Now the crowd,
What, to hop on the fucking ambulance?
no, to separate, to make room for the ambulance.
They
to
didn't.
Get there.
Well, no, the ambulance was literally
It's
like
not up to him.
60 feet
He
away.
He can't
You
control.
got to stop the show.
You
gotta
can't
stop
control
the show.
thousands of people in the crowd.
You have to stop the show. You have to cut the music and stop the show. He did.
He stopped the show.
If he made any attempt, he stopped it briefly. And then when he seen there was no leeway being made by the ambulance, he said, "You know what? Fuck that. Put your fucking hands up." And he kept going with his fucking song. Fuck that, bro. I don't fuck him. And now, listen. Now he's apologizing. Now he's fake crying on fucking Instagram like, man, I'm so sorry, man. Fuck you.
He apologized the next night, bro.
No, I don't want to hear that. Okay.
Or the next day.
The next day.
Literally the next day.
After all this controversy was brought up, after he was headlining. I seen this story on CNN.
Yeah,
and obviously they were like vouching for him. They were saying, "Oh, he did everything he could do," because they'd never say anything wrong about a rapper or a black guy. But
no,
well,
no.
Within
if you listen to
culture,
Kanye West,
Kanye
just came out and said rapper is the new N word, and I listen to Kanye.
Second that at all. I think that's wrong. I don't think anybody should say that word.
Nah, but what I'm saying is though, the point that I'm making is that he did make attempts to stop the concert.
On camera?
Yeah, you're on camera. Yeah. He did make attempts to stop the concert. That's all I'm fucking saying. To say that he didn't is a lie. It's a fallacy.
I think he
made.
made.
You know what it is?
I think he made an attempt.
You know what it is? The culture guy, the quote Kobe's favorite guy. It's fake news.
I think he made maybe a brief attempt, but that ambulance didn't get to those kids that were seizing on the fucking ground.
Now I'm not saying
he continued the concert. He even had the video I seen. Two of his boys rushed over to him on stage like on some like, what are we doing? Like, there's people dying in the crowd right now, and you hear him on the mic say, "Nah, fuck that. Like, get away." And then, put your fucking hands up while people are dying, while the ambulance is still far away from the kids that need help. And I don't have any I don't have any sympathy for if he does get canceled. I really don't give a fuck. I mean, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did try to do, more than I'm claiming he did. But from the video I seen, he made a brief attempt, and then after that, when the crowd didn't clear, the crowd that you help manifest, the crowd that comes to your shows to literally riot, and like that's your whole aura, like. You got to take, it's not all his responsibility, but some of it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm not denying that. I definitely agree with you there. But it's like we've had so many catastrophes at concerts. My thing is making it out to be the absolute worst one, where you have like Woodstock. I was literally reading an article about this shit. Like there's been so many concerts that this has happened with.
And guess what? The news media ripped those people up. And like, all right, we want to get into like, the whole satanic, like these conspiracies about Travis Scott, especially after this concert. They are retarded. But the other day you told me something. You said, it's just funny how whenever a black celebrity or person in music gets power or notoriety or fame or whatever, it's always like, oh, they're in the Illuminati, this and that.
Well, I wasn't attributing that to white people. That's attributed to black people.
Oh, okay.
I hate when black
white conservative Christians that are coming up with the conspiracies.
No, I'm saying
with a black artist.
I'm saying on my timeline, that's what I was seeing. I was making a separate critique about religion. So when it came to the Christian conservative white people, like I was saying, and I even talked to Graf about this every night. I was like, instantly when I saw the shit going down with Travis Scott, I instantly thought about when back in the Snapfest days when they were supposed to get signed and shit like that, and they ended up not getting signed because the nigga thought he was a Satanist when he's a fucking Wiccan. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, most conservative Christians don't know the difference between a Satanist and a Wiccan.
No, they don't, because they hear witchcraft and that obviously just sets them off. But like, I mean, if somebody, I'm not even going to go into the whole Snapfest or Wiccan thing or whatever. But I just thought in that message you sent, it was more of like a shot at white Christian conservatives, and maybe you said that's all you were seeing on your timeline is them reposting these conspiracies. But like, back to my point, like, yo, these past shows we're talking about Woodstock, you know, Pearl Jam, I seen was one of them. Yeah. In that era, like, look at Black Sabbath. They were seen as devil worshippers.
Obama just had fucking Pearl Jam at his birthday concert.
Black Sabbath was a fucking band that came out.
But Ozzy Osbourne is still worshipped to this day by white people. That's very ironic.
Their whole aesthetic, Black Sabbath, was kind of dark and devil aspect. They were really anti-war. And they have a song called War
No,
Pigs.
I know. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm agreeing with you on that.
But they got painted as the what is now the Illuminati, devil worshiping, like esque type of shit, and that happened back in the day too.
I feel like by the internet, subgroup, and by like parts of. But now when people hear like War Pigs or a Black Sabbath song, you don't see people saying, "Oh, devil worshiper" and shit like that. I think it's because, and I also think it's because, like you said, rap is the popping genre right now.
Right.
Where back in the day, rock was. So I wasn't solely just attributing it. Like the racial aspect was more so targeted towards black people that do this to other black people. Because it's like, all right. And my thing was the generational wealth, though. So when you talk about, now we have a difference of opinion. I'm not trying to go too deep into the politics, you know, the economic shit and everything. But it's like, for me, the whole, you know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, create your own wealth. Well, whenever a fucking nigga does that, they go find something else to critique him about. Like, for example, not even take Travis Scott out of the equation when we're talking about rappers. Take somebody like Jay-Z. Jay-Z gets demonized for his fucking politics, and they just take his political leanings and alignments as an overall way to demonize him overall. Like, you have Tommy Lauren on Facebook saying, "You used to be a drug dealer," this, that, and the third. Yeah, but guess what?
But don't you do the same thing though? Don't you look at Jay-Z and his attachment to the Democratic Party and go like, "Oh, you fucking shucking and jiving ass motherfucker"?
No, I don't. I'm talking about, and this, like I said, I'm not trying to go too deep into the politics. What I'm saying is, I'm going based upon the words, you know, Jay-Z talks about Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, and all these people a lot. Malcolm X and Fred Hampton was talking about getting away from capitalism. They wasn't talking about becoming a new black elite, as Jay-Z talks about. That's not what they were talking about. Malcolm X and Fred Hampton did not fuck with elites, regardless of what skin color the fuck they were. They weren't. Right. They weren't about building.
Jay-Z wants to be a part of that table.
Exactly.
And Malcolm X. And
exactly.
They didn't. They wanted to create their own table to sit at.
And that's exactly. Well, not necessarily. Well, their own table. But what I'm saying is, we need to be joining hands with all of our fellow Americans when it comes to that type of shit. Like, regardless of race, color, and all that shit.
Yeah, I think that's where the sweet spot is with everything. I think that's what the government, the news media outlets,
they hate that shit.
They don't want that to happen.
That's why they get certain artists the fuck out of here, bro. Like, say what you want about Kanye. I know he has his fucking problems, but some of the ideas that he talks about promotes those types of things. Did you see his last interview, bro?
I can't do it with Kanye.
Did you see his last interview?
I can't take somebody serious that uses mental health to sell sneakers, bro.
I don't think, but that's the thing. I don't think he's using mental health to sell sneakers, but like just that
to shell sneakers,
you know. But nah, just that last interview, bro. Like, he kept going in on John Legend, bro.
They gave that motherfucker one hit of a blunt, and he went off,
bro. He kept going in on John Legend, bro. He said, nah. It was literally, he went at Big Sean. He went at Big Sean once throughout the whole interview, the whole 2-hour interview. He kept going back to John Legend. He was like, y'all, he said, y'all out here acting like John Legend don't be doing what them folks tell him to do, this, that, and the third. Like, literally, they would be talking about something completely else. He was like, you know what that reminds me of? How John Legend be going out there doing what the Democrats tell him to do. Bro, he was going in on John Legend. Those are the types of niggas I can't stand. And I love John Legend's music. I cannot fucking stand John Legend, bro, because of his political shit. And that's where...
It's just like, do you think John Legend knows any better? Do you think, like, maybe a deep part of him is like, there might be something kind of malicious about this, kind of like fucked up about what I'm doing, and then they just ignore it, or
no,
are they just not like?
It's generational with black people. It's generational with black people.
So he really actually thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yes, I believe that. Yes.
Okay, I can see that.
Because that's like.
Apparently, him and Chrissy Teigen eat babies.
Yeah, that's the whole rumor. It's weird. But that's
look, man. I some of my views are conservative. Some of my views are liberal. You know, I disagree with a lot of things on the liberal side of things. I disagree with a lot of things on the conservative side of things. But when the whole QAnon Trump crowd started calling every liberal elite or a liberal in Hollywood like a baby eater that went to, you know, maybe the Jeffrey Epstein Island shit. Some of it has some truth to it, but like, once you start I mean, there's like stem cell research and the benefits that come with that, and I'm pretty sure stem cells are derived from a fetus, but that doesn't mean.
But that's my problem with fucking religion. That's my problem with religion. They view anything in that category as like when you have somebody that's stuck in their own, and I think you were the one that told me this, like, you can't deal, like, to a certain extent you can deal with these people. There's less delusionment among some people. Like, you got some of the Christian religious people that use, you know, Christianity as like a moral compass. Basically, they don't take things word for word. But then when you keep going down,
fanaticize.
Yeah, but when you keep going down that spectrum, you'll see it, and it's like a lot of those niggas are niggas in power on both Democrats and Republican side. Sure. That's why you have a unanimous worship of Israel across the board.
Well, I mean, going back to like fetuses, though. I mean, I would think a lot of there's people that aren't religious that hear the idea of stem cells and then
there
extract
are.
it. Yeah. People that aren't religious that hear the idea of stem cells and the extraction of stem cells from fetuses and how they're used, and kind of are a little discomforted by that with no religious ties. And then obviously there's the people that are religious. Now, I don't know. Like, if some shit's fucked up and a religious person's at the forefront of saying, hey, this is wrong, just because they're religious, in my mind, I'm not going to negate from the fact that what they're saying could be true.
But it's usually either a half truth or they're misrepresenting the truth in a sense. Like, yeah, it could still be fucked up, but the way you're saying it, you feel me, is misrepresenting what the actual thing is. So
right.
that's the problem with me, is when you get these religious people involved, it becomes that. Like I said, like me and Greg, like I literally called him when this shit broke out, because I'm like, he kept popping in my mind, because I'm like, this is a person I know who's Wiccan, who has been accused of being a Satanist. As soon as they see the pentagram on his crystals and shit.
And he would also probably play into that too.
Yeah, I'm not denying that.
He's also somebody who's sat down with a Christian kid or that was his friend, and I'm pretty sure like questioned his religion.
But that's what
and like, it has to be respect. Just because you've had negative interactions with Christianity or negative interactions from a certain religion, like, you can't just like, I don't know. I don't even want to go into that. It's not even.
But basically, my point is, as we need that. Like, at one, I thought America was a secular country. I thought that's what we were. I thought religion was supposed to be taken out, the separation of church, even though church and state still isn't really separate. We don't have to go into that, but I thought that's like you were free to worship your own God. Now, when you call somebody, like calling somebody a Satanist or a devil worshiper, it's almost the equivalent of calling them a pedophile or that they eat babies. Like, you know what you're doing when you're doing that.
I don't know.
You're trying to
devil worshiper might be worse.
It's like the Crucible. That's literally what they, like, the whole point of the Crucible was. Yeah. So it's like, when you do that, and I'm not sitting here defending a rich famous guy like Travis Scott. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I'm saying is, like, I feel like Christians, like, know what you're talking about when you're saying shit. And a lot of the people that point out this devil worshiping shit, the satanic shit, these are the same people that be calling out liberals for, you know, the woke shit, the gender shit and everything. Words mean things. All right, well, when it comes to your fucking God, when it comes to your religion, make sure you keep that same fucking energy.
My whole
That's
thing,
all I'm saying.
right, so
keep that same energy.
So we have to keep the same energy when we talk about other religions being pried at, poked at, and prodded, and maybe humiliated, maybe trolled, you know, slandered. We like to keep a certain energy. If a white man comes at Islam, they're seen as Islamophobic, and they're wrong. You should let people do their religion. Don't prod these people. Don't poke these people. We'll keep that same energy when Lil Nas X is out here fucking trolling the entire religion of Christianity, and then people have the nerve to be like, oh, he shouldn't be getting death threats. Well, yo, don't be poking the bear.
No,
keep
but
the
my
same
thing
energy.
is, no, but my thing is,
there's
there's a difference with Islam, though. See, when you get people like Sam Harris,
you know what I'm saying, though. Do you understand my point?
I get your point, but what I'm saying is, when you get people like Sam Harris, when you get the people that have come out and publicly criticized Islam,
Sam Harris is also a notorious atheist, and he criticizes Christianity too.
My thing is though, Sam Harris always eliminates I'm not trying to go too far into politics here, but he always ignores the imperialism that has been going on in the Middle East for over 150 fucking years, to where they've been brutally invaded from outside forces to the point where their religion has not been able to evolve. It's been breeding the most extreme people amongst them, because people are going to turn to extremes when they're in those situations. So you can't judge the religion based upon what you're seeing now, when you have these outside forces that has been fucking with this religion forever.
So So all right. So the only thing I'm gonna say is like I don't think Lil Nas X would troll Islam. And I'm sure, I am 110%, hold on, I'm 110% sure that Islam wants to see, the people in Islam do not fuck with Lil Nas X's lifestyle. They don't fuck with his music videos. They don't fuck with none of that shit. Why are you purposely and specifically targeting these specific people? It's because, I can tell you why, it's because white America is predominantly not Islamic. They're predominantly white Christians, right? Well, for the most part. I mean, who knows what the percentages of white Americans that are Christian. A lot of people are actually turning away from religion, but that's a whole different conversation. You fucking cultivate the outrage. You use the fucking Kardashian effect. You get the eyes on you, even if it's eyes that don't like you, do like you, whatever. And it gets your name out there. But we got to keep the same energy. You don't fuck with people's religion, in my mind. And if you do, I'm all for, like, you know, it's a free country. You got the freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. But guess what? When motherfuckers are giving you death threats and when somebody runs up on you and fucks you up for talking that shit, for coming at their culture, coming at their life, just like if he did it to somebody who was Islamic, I say the same shit. You asked for that shit. And the difference is, like, when somebody like Lil Nas X prods and pokes at white America and Christianity, he's not getting no backlash for that. Like, he's not going to get canceled. He's not going to get taken off of YouTube. He's not going to get all these things that would happen if maybe if the roles were reversed.
No, but hold on.
White man
no, wait.
I'm just saying.
I
think that's pretty obvious.
Nah, it's not, because the point
knows that.
Nah, the point is, though, the point that Lil Nas X is pointing out by doing the gay video, by doing the Satan shoe, is that it's very hypocritical. You don't see gay people running around telling Christians how to live their lives until it comes up to Christians telling gay people how to live their lives. Lil Nas X, his video of him like dancing with Satan or whatever in hell and shit like that,
giving Satan a lap dance and sucking Satan's dick. Or whatever
why?
Did.
Like
eating Satan's asshole.
Like why? Like my thing is when you got Lil Nas X doing that video, my whole point is it's not like he's a gay ass nigga. You feel me? He's gay. He's gay. Like, he's gay. What do you want me to say? He's gay.
I don't think anybody's arguing otherwise.
Clearly. But my point is,
I think the equivalent of that video of him dancing with the devil and making out and sucking his dick, whatever. That's the equivalent of a fucking white Baptist church going and making a fucking anti-gay music video and basically slandering the gay community or trolling the gay community and basically saying fuck you to them. How fucking viral would that video go?
But my thing is, what if Lil Nas X is a Satanist?
Huh?
What if he's a Satanist?
All right, come on, dog.
No, I'm saying, what if he's a Satanist?
I don't think he is.
How do you know? Do you know Lil Nas X?
What if he's straight?
I think he is, personally.
What the fuck? Now we're just having these... Now we're just speculating.
Nah, but I like the reason why I like what he's doing is because I feel like it's opening up questions about... Most people don't understand their own fucking... Most Christians don't even know their fucking Bible is full of shit. Your Bible has like 100 and something books taken out of it. There's literally... I was talking to Todd I think it was Todd. I was talking to Todd on the phone about this the other day. I'm like, bro, they literally have this whole book of it's called like the Agnosticism of Christ or some shit like that, where it's basically a whole kind of like Bible type. It's like a whole book of the Bible where it's written by like different people in Jesus's life outside of the 12 disciples. It's written by like his family members, friends that knew him. There's even like excerpts from Mary in the book and shit like that. And there's a book of Judas within that book where Judas is talking about how he thinks Christ, and it contextualizes why he betrayed Christ. He believes Christ he believes Christ is basically pulling the wool over people's eyes. He was a false prophet, and that's why he portrayed Christ. So that's what I'm saying. You guys don't even understand the intricacies and complexities of your own fucking religion, much less trying to basically castigate somebody else's shit and what they're doing. Sit down.
That's like asking the LGBTQ, about their gender identity politics.
But you're just as hypocritical. But my thing is, these are the same niggas that critique those people for that, but you don't look at your own fucking hypocrisy. Everybody just need to shut the fuck up and do their own shit.
It's a part of a culture that's been established for so many years. It's not just some new shit people are throwing around just to, like, I guess, stir the pot. Or
Yeah,
like,
because if you question it when it was first coming out, they would burn you at the stake and flay you and hang you and do all that shit.
As they should.
Not, yeah, but that's my point. Like you have, and look, I'm not trying to be
and obviously that's not going on now.
I'm not trying. It's not.
There was a lot of shit going on back then.
But look, I'm not
up.
trying. Look, I'm saying this because
people were castrated left and right. You know, there was rape among the streets. There was rampant disease everywhere back in these times where you would get hung by a stake. Like those were barbaric times, just in a general sense. So it's really not surprising that people had ties with barbaric action and religion. I mean, people were just fucked up.
And I get that. But the point that I'm making is that when you talk about that, and I'm not trying to look, this is just what it is. This is where the religion was dominated at the time. This is what it is. You had white men that were controlling this religion at the time to suit the agenda of white men at the time, because that's who was in charge at the time. And it's like when
people that were white men, not all white men.
That's what I'm not. Look, that's
well, you have to clarify that nowadays. I feel like people don't do that enough. We throw these blanket terms around, and like, I mean, I know what you mean, and I know what you mean, but like other people don't. When you use these broad terms like white men are in power, white America, this and that, like, the few white men, the 0.0001% of this country that actually run shit, have no ties to the average white man. So when we say the white men that were doing this and that, like, you really have to specify, because they're not sitting at the same fucking table.
I already specified this is like hundreds of years ago.
Sure.
Coming out of the Middle Ages, and even
it's still, I think, the same
or medieval times. I'm sorry, the medieval times. But the point that I'm making is you have these men, these white men that are setting up these agendas within the church and shit, and that continued within the New World, and that ideology, even in a sense, kind of continued in America, where you had the elite class in America who were also white men that constructed shit at the time, which is even funnier because America talks about itself being this, where our founding principles are Christian. Most of your founding fathers believed in occultist shit. That's the funny part. Like George Washington, he believed in ancient aliens and shit. He literally does.
Maybe one of those ancient aliens that he believed in was actually an illegal alien named Jesus, aka Jesus Christ. So guess what? It all comes back to religion. It all comes back to Christianity. And I don't think George Washington was a bad guy. He was a nice lady.
Yeah, fuck that nigga. But
he has nice teeth.
The point that I'm making is like, you had these dominant structures that were never allowed to be up for scrutiny because of the people in charge had all the power to not allow that scrutiny. Whereas now you can critique the, gender norms, you can critique all that shit if you want to. Have at it, Hoss. Go ahead and critique norms. It. Like the gender shit, what you was just talking about, like the gender, LGBTQ.
I mean, it depends where you're at.
It doesn't.
My job right now, if I go in and question gender norms, I'm out of a job. I'm going. Especially me being a white guy. That's why I'm about to join the LGBTQ board and tell them I'm fucking gay. I'm sucking dick, something. So I can fucking ask some questions.
I feel you.
But it depends on the space. I mean, if you're in fucking Texas and like a conservative white town, then yeah. I mean, I'm sure you can like, stretch the boundaries in conversation about the gender norms. But if you're on a college campus, if you're at fucking University of Delaware, and you're openly asking people about gender norm, and you're a white guy, they're gonna fucking shun you out of that motherfucker. Like, so I guess it depends where you're at, but
this is the ideology. Even if I grant, well, not even if I grant you that, like I would more than likely grant you that. Like I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not going to agree or disagree with you. But the point I'm making is, even if you're 100% everything you just said, you're right now, right? This is the same structures that was set up with the opposing side. So for the opposing side now, because their belief system is being challenged by people saying there's more than one gender. There's, you got gay people now. Even, and different things. The status quo is changing now, and you have people, and this is the beauty of what Dave Chappelle did with his stand-up, with his, not just the last one, but all of them, because he always brought up the point. He was like, it seems funny that the LGBTQ plus movement matters when it's white people that want to be part of that community. That's the point Dave Chappelle is driving home when he's critiquing the LGBTQ
He basically
movement.
Said that
when rich white men
want to be a minority until like you call the cops on somebody.
No, not even that. The original thing he was bringing up was that the movement starts to matter when rich white men are gay, when rich white men are trans, When rich white men are whatever, queer, whatever the fuck it is, that's
Whoa,
when the movement.
whoa,
Exactly.
Whoa, you can't say that,
Exactly.
bro.
Exactly. Well, I just said that shit, and but that's
I'm
what
about to
they
drop the. Never mind.
That's what Dave Chappelle was saying. That's the whole point of what Dave Chappelle was saying, and that's what people are missing with his, with his stand up. But I didn't bring it up to go into that. The overall point that I'm trying to make is that now, because like this is a product of the own making of people with the same ideology as you. When it comes to economics, they agree with you. Like the people at Netflix have no disagreement with a conservative when it comes to economics. They agree with them niggas on everything when it comes to economics and how the country is structured.
And that's why they didn't take down the Dave Chappelle special.
Exactly. No, I'm talking about the people that walked out of the Netflix special that did the protest and shit, the trans people.
No, those people clearly disagree with the fundamentals of like free speech, capitalism, and
no. What I'm saying is, when it comes to economics, they don't. They agree with conservatives 100% on economics.
The people that walked out of Netflix,
yes, agree with them 100% on. I promise you, bro. I promise you.
But I keep falling.